Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 onwards. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Verse 2, Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon, who gave authority to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So here we can see the rise of Antichrist. In Revelation chapter 6, the beginning verses, we see the beginning of Antichrist, the departure of Antichrist. This is the peak of Antichrist. Antichrist rising to the height. Antichrist rising as a ruler of the world, most parts of the world. So he comes from the sea, rising up out of the sea. Sea symbolizes people of various languages, various people groups and races. Revelation chapter 17, verse 15 gives this interpretation. So multitudes or waters, great waters, symbolize people from various languages, various ethnic groups, and various nations. What does it mean? Antichrist will be a global leader. He will start as a warrior, as mentioned in Revelation chapter 6. He will conduct battles. He will capture nations. He'll be one of the 10 rulers who will rule most part of the world for 3.5 years as an alliance. The 10 rulers alliance. He'll be one among them. And when this 13th chapter comes, the 10 people or other 9 people will make him the head of that alliance, and he'll become a dictator. Germany was a democratic country. At first, Hitler came to power as a democratic leader, but later on he became a dictator. Same way, even Napoleon, that time democracy was in France. But after coming to power, Napoleon declared himself as a king of France. Julius Caesar, why Julius Caesar was killed? His own friends killed him. Why? Julius Caesar, as the days went on, Julius Caesar, was slowly becoming a dictator. He was not following the democracy. So the champions of democracy, his own friends, killed him. The same thing will happen with Antichrist. Slowly, in 3.5 years, gradually and slowly, he'll become powerful. He'll become greater and greatest. And other 9 rulers will make him head of that alliance. And another, order of government, another setup. Now UNO is there, but actually it is not ruling the world. But another setup will come, like UNO, which will rule the most parts of the world. The 10 rulers alliance. And when Antichrist touches the peak, goes to the height, another setup, not the 10 equals, they align together and rule, not that setup. One head, under him, the 10 rulers will be under him, will be subordinates, not equals. And 7 heads, he will have 7 heads symbolically. 7 heads symbolize the 7 empires of the world. Egyptian Empire, Assyrian Empire, Chaldean Empire, Median and Persian Empire, Greek Empire, Roman Empire, and the 7th forthcoming empire, future empire, the revived Roman Empire. So, 7 empires, he will represent 7 empires. As the 8th, he'll be the 8th empire, according to Revelation chapter 17, verse 9, 10, and 11. He'll be the 8th empire, but he will have the qualities or characteristics of previous seven empires. That's the meaning of seven heads. And 10 horns represents 10 rulers alliance according to chapter 17 verses 12 and 13. The 10 rulers will make him their head, and they'll be the subordinates. They'll be under him. And 10 horns he will have. According to Revelation 6 2, in the beginning he will have only one kingdom. But later on he will have 10 kingdoms upon his head, 10 crowns. He will come to 10 crowns from one crown. And it'll be like leopard. Leopard symbolizes Greek Empire. Daniel chapter 7 verse 6 says, it'll be like a Greek emperor, like Alexander the Great. He is called the northern king in Daniel. After Alexander, the Greek Empire was divided into 4 divisions, and 4 divisions were ruled by 4 associates of Alexander the Great. So Antichrist will be called the northern king. The northern king means he will hail from Syria or Iraq, from that region. That is the center point of the northern region of Greek Empire. He will not be a Jew. He will not from Dan tribe. He will not be from the hell. He will not be the resurrected Judas Iscariot. But he'll be an human being. The last verse of chapter 13 says, he'll be an human being. His number will be the number of an human being. He'll be an human being, a natural human being, ordinary human being, who will hail from the northern part of Greek Empire, that is Syria, Iraq region. And some characters of bear will be in him. Daniel 7:5. The bear symbolizes Median Persian kingdom. Median Persians, they also, the Darius, he passed 1 degree. For a certain days only people should pray to the king. They should not pray to any other person and God. And Daniel disobeyed the degree. And Daniel was, put inside the lion's den. At that time, King Darius, what he told, the Median Persian law cannot be modified or cancelled, irrevocable. Median Persian degrees and laws are irrevocable. They are very much law conscious and degree conscious. The same thing happened in Esther history. He put 1 degree to kill all the Jews, but that cannot be modified or cancelled. So they produced another degree to counter this degree. So Median and Persians are always, they are law centered and rules and regulations centered. And Greeks, Alexander the Great was a conqueror. He was after nations. He was after capturing nations and nations. That character will be him, will be in his life. And he will have, his mouth will be like the mouth of the lion. Chaldean lion represents in Daniel chapter 7. It represents Chaldean kingdom. What Nebuchadnezzar did, the Chaldean emperor, what he did, he created 1 statue, 1 idol, and ordered every citizen, every person should worship that idol. Otherwise, he will be put inside the furnace. We know the story. So he will do the same thing. He will found a new religion in which Lucifer and Antichrist will be gods. And there will be 1 idol or a form of Antichrist. It may be a robot. And people will be forced to worship him. Otherwise, they will be killed. That's what Antichrist is going to do. Before that, church will be taken away. Before that, God's people will be transformed in rapture. Are you prepared? Amen.